Hey, what's going on guys? It's the Mass Ambassador Roni Kanerva. In today's video, I will show you my top 5 movements that I've used over the years to build bigger hamstrings. So let's start with the back squat and more specifically the wide stance, which also suits me better because I have long legs. For most of my life, I've done squats with a wide stance and it tends to target the hamstrings and glutes better, which is why they are the dominating muscle groups in my legs. The wide stance also doesn't put that much stress on the knees because you have to maintain a more vertical shin position compared to the narrow stance where the knees usually go more forwards. Now when it comes to squatting guys, remember that everyone won't be able to squat the same way. For example, the hip socket anatomy isn't the same with everyone, so some can go deeper than others. And you should only go as low as you can with a neutral spine and avoid the butt wing. Because if that happens, you're asking for bad news guys, because it causes a lot of stress on your lumbar spine. So take a stance that is wider than the shoulder width and point your feet slightly outwards. Hold the bar on your traps or on your shoulder blades and bring your elbows forward and keep a tight core. Take a big breath, hold it, lower yourself down by pushing the hip backwards, then start bending your knees, keeping the heels on the ground, knees and toes in line, and come down to 90 degrees or as low as you can with a neutral spine. Then start squatting back up to the starting position, breathe out, keep your chest up, and flex your glutes at the top. And then the movement number 2, the lying leg curl. Now this is a movement that I like to do slightly differently than how people usually do it, but it targets the hamstrings extremely well. So lie face down with your knees just beyond the edge of the bench and place the pad underneath your calves. Raise yourself up, keeping the chest up, but avoid extending your back too much. This posture helps you to activate the hamstrings so much better than just lying there flat. And then, with control, curl the weight up only to about a 90-degree angle. That's where the peak contraction for the hamstring is, and squeeze your hamstrings as hard as possible. Avoid kicking the butt up when curling the weight up, and if you want to maximize the hamstring work, keep your toes pointed. Then lower the weight with control and leave your legs slightly bent at the bottom. I truly recommend you guys to try this technique out, and if you can't maintain yourself in that position, you can bring your upper body lower as well, but make sure you keep your chest up. And next, the seated leg curl, another great basic hamstring movement. And when it comes to building muscle guys, I actually rely on leg curl machines a lot because they are very direct hamstring contraction exercises. Keep a good posture, bring that chest up, and place the pad underneath your calves. Leave the legs slightly bent at the top, and with control, bring your legs again to about that 90-degree angle and squeeze. And then with control, return the weight to the starting position. Avoid momentum and hip movement, instead execute the exercise with control and really focus on that contraction. And then the fourth movement guys, the standing leg curl, executed one leg at a time. Excellent movement. And in general, these single leg exercises are extremely effective because you can focus just on one leg at a time, and I strongly recommend you guys to do them, especially if your legs have differences in strength levels. Instead of leaning forwards with the upper body, I actually like to maintain a pretty upright posture. I feel like I get a better contraction to my hamstring that way. So with a good posture, leave the legs slightly bent at the bottom, do the curl with control, and bring your leg to about that 90-degree angle at the top and squeeze. Then lower the weight with control to the starting position, and again avoid momentum and butt kicks. And then the movement number 5, stiff leg deadlift. So with the different leg curl machines, I like to focus on good contractions, but especially with the stiff leg deadlift, I like to focus on good stretch, and I actually prefer dumbbells to a barbell. So keep a good posture, tight core, legs just slightly bent, hip width stance, and hold the dumbbells by your sides. Then start lowering the dumbbells by pushing your hip back, keep the weight on the heels, legs just slightly bent, neutral spine, and keep going until you feel a good stretch in your hamstrings. From there, start going back to the starting position by driving through the heels, flex your hamstrings and glutes, and bring your torso straight. I also like to use a shorter range of motion where I try to keep the tension in the hamstrings throughout the movement by not going all the way up. And those are my top 5 movements that I have used over the years to build bigger hamstrings. Hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe Mass TV so you won't miss out any future content. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.